Hello students, today's topic is Memory Management, Unit 4 Operating System, NEP syllabus, 4th semester. So what is this memory management? Memory management is one of the functionalities of operating system, and operating system is responsible to make sure that the RAM is utilized in a optimal way. And what happens in memory management? The memory is allocated and deallocated to the processes which are copied to the RAM from the secondary storage. Now this memory, when the memory is allocated, it can be allocated either dynamically, that is during the execution of the process, or it can be allocated statically, that is before the execution of the process. So let us see some key functions of memory management. The first function is memory allocation. As I mentioned, the memory is allocated to each and every process which is copied to the RAM from the secondary storage device. So as long as process is still getting executed, as long as the process is not completed, the process resides in the RAM. And once the process execution gets fully completed, then the same memory is deallocated and the process is shifted back to the secondary storage. Sometimes it happens that the process is still running but still not executed completely. For example, process is getting executed and it's waiting for some input and output operations. So in such cases, suppose we don't have sufficient RAM, then this process will be copied back to the secondary storage and we call it as deallocation. Again, when the process's turn comes, the process will be copied back to the RAM. So again, new memory will be allocated to the process. So this allocation and deallocation. Now when we talk about the allocation methods, there are two methods. What are the two methods? Static method and dynamic method. In static allocation, the memory is assigned to the process before the execution. And in dynamic allocation, the memory is assigned to the process during the execution. Static allocation assigns a fixed memory, whereas dynamic allocation might assign the fixed memory, or dynamically it can change the size of the memory. I mean, you can, during the execution, you can ask for extra memory and that will be allocated. So it's more flexible. It is more flexible. The next function which comes under memory management is memory protection. Now, what do you exactly mean by memory protection? Now, normally, since ours is not the uniprocessor system, so suppose we are having more than two processes which are there in the RAM. So in that case, what happens is, suppose we are having the process P1 and P2. So we are having process P1 and we are having the process P2. Now both these processes are copied in our RAM. Suppose this is our RAM. If this is our RAM, this particular memory is allocated, this particular memory block is allocated to process P1 and the next block is allocated to process P2. Okay. Now when we talk about the memory protection, it simply means that it makes sure that the block which is allocated to P2 do not get mixed up with P1, as well as the block which is allocated to P1 do not get mixed up with P2. So they both are isolated from each other. And who makes sure that P1 and P2 both are isolated? It is the operating system. So operating systems make sure that P1 and P2 are isolated from each other. Okay. Now how it is possible? Like how can P1 understand that this is the boundary of P1 and it cannot cross this boundary and go to P2. So that can be done with the help of hardware support again, and the hardware support is known as base and limit register. So we are going to see this in detail afterwards in the coming units. Okay. One way is taking the hardware support, the other way is using the paging mechanism. Now paging is a concept. Paging is a concept which is used in virtual memory. That is also we are going to see in the coming sessions. Okay. Next function is address translation. Now what is address translation? See, whenever we execute a program, our CPU generates some addresses for our variables or whatever calculations we do. Okay. So the address which is generated by the CPU is known as logical address. Now this logical address need to be copied to our RAM. So RAM is known as physical address. So this process of copying the logical address to physical address is also known as mapping. Mapping logical address to physical address. Okay. Who does this? Operating system. How does it do it? So it uses one hardware. The name of that hardware is MMU. So MMU stands for Memory Management Unit. And this is responsible to map the logical address to physical address. Next comes process swapping. So as I mentioned earlier, so sometimes what happens, the process is not fully completed. The process is waiting for its input-output operations. So in that case, what happens is the process is still in the RAM, and maybe some other process wants to come to the RAM so that it wants to get executed inside the CPU. So in that case, the process which is residing in our RAM has to be copied back to the secondary storage till it comes. Okay, the process is there. Process is waiting for some input and output operation, but it is still in the RAM, and there is no place for the other process to come to get executed. So in the meantime, what will happen? This process which is there in the RAM will be shifted to the secondary storage for a temporary basis, and in that same place, one more process from the secondary storage will be copied to RAM so that it can get executed, right? So this process of shifting the process from RAM to secondary storage and from secondary storage to RAM is known as process swapping, or in simple words we can say this is known as swapping the places from secondary to RAM to secondary. And this process swapping is mainly used in virtual memory. What is virtual memory? We will see in the coming sessions. Next functionality is known as fragmentation management. Now what is the fragmentation? Now suppose this is our RAM. This is our RAM, and process P1 comes to the RAM, and this block of memory is allocated to process P1. Now it might be possible that the process P1 do not utilize the entire block of memory. Some block of memory within the allocated block, some memory is never used by process P1. Okay, so this block is going wasted, this memory space is going wasted. So such wastage of memory is known as fragmentation. And since you see, like P1 was allocated this entire block, and within the block there is a wastage of memory. So this wastage of memory within the block or inside the block is known as internal fragmentation. Now suppose again there is one more block, and there are many blocks, and one more process comes, process P2, and process P2 is assigned this block of memory. So these blocks of memory are never utilized. These are not assigned to any of the processes. So again we see that this is also the wastage of memory, but this is outside the assigned block. So the wastage of memory which is outside the assigned block is known as external fragmentation. So in simple words we can say that fragmentation is unused memory. If unused memory is within the allocated block, it is known as internal fragmentation, and if the unused memory is outside the allocated blocks, which is a scattered free space, is known as external fragmentation. Can we come up with some solution where we can minimize this fragmentation? Yes. So there are many solutions to minimize the fragmentation. One of them is compaction, the other one is known as paging or segmentation.